All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a segment I like to call the final reel, in which I'd like to talk about actor Paul Rudd, who next week is coming out with a new film alongside Forgetting Sarah Marshall co-star Jason Segel called I Love You, Man. Paul Rudd started out in 1995, of course, in the film Clueless. He had a good supporting role in that film, but since then I just found him to be overacting or underacting in roles. But then again, in 2005, he blew me away with his supporting turn, and hilarious turn, I might add, in The 40-Year-Old Virgin alongside Steve Carell. And then in 2007, Knocked Up with Seth Rogen, and just in 2008, Forgetting Sarah Marshall with Jason Segel. Now, Robert Downey Jr.'s Oscar nomination in Tropic Thunder really swung open the door, I think, for comedies being looked at in terms of acting. Written material, in my opinion, can be funny, but you gotta have the right guy to deliver it, and Paul Rudd does that, and he gives everything with not only his dialogue, but gives everything back to his co-stars. Steve Carell in The 40-Year-Old Virgin, Seth Rogen in Knocked Up, and Jason Segel in Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Rudd doesn't steal the scenes necessarily. That's not what the supporting actor award is always all about. He gives them something and they give it to him back. And what he does with the material is that he knows where not to go over the top. He's like Bill Murray. He reminds me of Bill Murray a lot in that aspect where he knows the exact point, the perfect point to cut it off. And to me, that's the mark of a great comedic actor. And Paul Rudd did great with his first starring vehicle without producer Judd Apatow holding his hand, I might add, in Role Models alongside Sean William Scott. And let me tell you, that movie was tremendous. And now he's going into his second starring role with I Love You, Man. And again, this is not an Apatow vehicle. Now, I gotta say, I think Rudd should still be careful. I think he should still choose supporting roles and still be the same type of guy that he's always been in these films, and just not get too wrapped up in the whole comedy thing as a starring guy, so to speak, is what I'm trying to say. What I want him to do is I want him to still do the supporting roles and then try the starring role every so often. But I think for your consideration, Academy, Paul Rudd, look out for him. All right, next on next week's show, I will be reviewing 4 films, including the new Nicolas Cage film Knowing, Duplicity, starring Julia Roberts and Clive Owen, and of course, there's also I Love You, Man, with Paul Rudd and Jason Segel, and Race to Witch Mountain, starring Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock. That's it for this week. Until next week, this has been Bill Chase, and I will be at the movies.